Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. I am so happy you joined us today because we have Stan Washington back with us. He's the president of Honor Services. And joining him is Victoria Cook, founder and managing director of Center for Guilt-Free Success. Now, you may recognize Stan because he was on about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful time. You brought so much insight into the show. But you're back because you have a change, but a good change in your name, but not in who or what you do.
That's right, Liz. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
We have now changed from Career Coach Office to Honor Services Office, mainly because we started getting requests from a lot of different people who are excited about our software. We provide a CRM, invoicing, and email marketing all in one tool. And that's a business management tool that people couldn't resist. So we wanted to make sure that we broadened it from the coaches. Well, we love our coaches, but we wanted to make sure we broadened it to businesses that need to have a CRM, invoicing, and email marketing.
The thing I always enjoyed so much about you, Stan, is that you really care about the people you work with and provide the software, that you always want to be so much more involved. So tell me a little bit about what you think small businesses need right now.
I think small businesses really should focus on personal engagement. I like to do that with my customers. I want to make sure that I reach out and touch them and talk to them and make sure that everything's going well. That personal touch to a person's business is what separates you from the rest. If you can make sure that you keep that personal engagement going, I believe that will make a business stand out. And so that's why you use a CRM to keep that personal engagement tight. Keep track of what's going on with that person, good notes, and then you'll be able to really engage that person.
Well, and I think that no matter what level of engagement we're having, people want to feel special, whether it be, Starbucks made a career hit by remembering your order and greeting you by name.
Right.
It's just, from the local Y here who greets me by name. So I think you've done a really great job with really engaging that idea of personal engagement. But you've also brought more content to your office and your work by helping people like Victoria here come full circle. So tell me a little bit, Abe, about how you met and the collaboration you have going.
One thing that we found is that people had struggled with marketing, and they struggle with sales. And so we brought two resources to the table. One is called Plans to Prosper, Strategies, Systems, and Tools for Small Business Marketing Success. And one is Peaceful Selling, Easy Sales Techniques to Grow Your Small Business. And I wrote that with Dan Duster. But let me talk about how we met.
Yeah.
We worked at the International Coach Federation on the board, and we wanted to make sure that we provided marketing for that organization. We had some great ideas. Actually, Victoria has some great ideas. And I sought her actually to help me write the book, Plans to Prosper. Okay.
And Victoria, when you saw Stan and you met Stan, what made you think it clicked? What made you want to get involved?
We had a lot in common, similar ideals, and like he was talking about, relational marketing, very similar foundational business ideologies. Okay. And so it was a very natural, easy fit. We worked really well together on the board, and I enjoyed, he had great leadership as he was leading that group, and I was helping to put the marketing in place. And so when he asked, it was really, even though I told him I'd think about it, I'd already made up my mind. It was a very easy decision.
Well, you two seem to have a natural chemistry, but tell me a little bit about what you do, Victoria, which brought your level of expertise that complemented Stan here and helped him get that out.
Well, I work primarily with women business owners and a few good men, but mostly women, and I help them attract great clients that are going to stay, pay, and refer. Really help them to balance what's important for them so they can savor the 3 M's of money, marketing, and motherhood. So obviously we had the marketing piece in common, and that was a really nice, easy synergy for the two of us.
And that's great. And Stan, how does this play into that whole personal engagement idea for you?
So what we wanted to do was provide resources for people so that they can go ahead and get started on their own. A lot of people who leverage our software are do-it-yourselfers. They're solopreneurs. They don't have the money to go out and get all the resources from here and there. And so some people do it themselves. And we wanted to make sure we provided a guide that helped them step by step in doing it themselves. And so we provided a book and a workbook for some of the people so that they can go out there, look through the checklist, and get things going for themselves.
Well, and I think the workbook is exciting because there's a lot of books out there, but oftentimes when you read them, they're so overwhelming, and it's not broken down enough. Mm-hmm. Where a workbook, forces you to put pencil to paper.
Right.
Right. Tell me more about that. That sounds very deliberate. And why was that?
When we started talking about putting a book together, we really were passionate about making sure it wasn't just us taking information and putting it out there, because you can pick up any number of books on the subject of marketing. What we were passionate about was really providing a resource for business owners that no matter what amount of money, like Stan was mentioning, they could follow it step by step. We really wanted it to be a tool, not just, oh yeah, let me read this and I'll learn a little something, but really, as a coach, my goal is to deepen the learning and forward the action. So I wanted to make sure that this was something that would help forward people's action as well.
I'm about to say, and Dan Duster and I.
Right.
Yeah, let me mention Dan.
Dan, right? Yeah, tell me a little bit about Dan.
Dan and I met in college, and we personally engaged for years through sales ideas. We kept coming up with the problems of doing sales on your own. Sales and marketing are different, and people don't understand that they are very different. And so we put some intentionality to the sales process. So we have actually a step-by-step process, a book and a workbook for doing sales. And so Dan and I came up with some great ideas. Actually, Dan has just a masterful mind at sales, and we wanted to make sure that we put those same sales steps to paper so that people can intentionally do sales their way without feeling uncomfortable.
Right. Well, I like the way you say you're making it all actionable.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us we feel good because we come up with the idea, and then we get stuck with going from idea to execution.
Yes.
And that's where I think, Stan, you play a role, Victoria, you play a role with the books, the software, helping us move.
Yeah.
Because we all need that nudge to be successful a little bit.
Yes, I would say that doing your business on purpose, growing your business on purpose actually means taking a time to plan out your marketing and to execute sales and to be that person, to have that wonderful business that people expect. And so if you can package all that together, then you will have a successful business.
Well, and I think you've really hit on it, because when we're running a business, we're running the daily stuff, but it's being purposeful and taking enough time to have a few minutes in that day. And I know both of you would tell anybody, take a few minutes in that day and be purposeful on what's your next step. Because we all get lost in that day-to-day activity.
Absolutely. We find a lot of the folks that we were writing for, they're so busy with the day-to-day and managing that they don't take that time. And then they're not happy with the results. They're kind of winging it and just, flying by the seat of their pants. And then they're not happy with their results. They're unhappy with their income level and profitability. So this really provides them the step-by-step tools and resources to make it happen.
And that workbook to kind of sort of like that calendar to kind of know where we are in the book.
Yes.
And I think that's just wonderful. Stan, thank you so much for stopping by again and telling us about your progress and what you've been doing. And I think that's awesome. I love the name. I think honor is a great word. It describes so much.
We want to honor our people.
Right. I can see that very much. Victoria, so nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you. We'll be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.